Hello and welcome back to another episode of Kerbal Space Program. My name is Seth. We are playing Kerbalism, so let's get started. In the last episode we'd fixed up a number of issues that we'd had with our Gagarin station, and we were able to finally dock our second Kerbal to it. I believe up there we currently have Lingle and Jebediah Lingle Kerman, and I think they've got enough supplies there for about 30 days. So we'll leave them there for, I don't know, 15 or so. We'll look at sending a resupply mission to give them some more food, oxygen, possibly rotate the crew. We do need to put more nitrogen in the vessel after we realised there was a mistake and the habitat disabled. When the habitat disables, when you turn it back on, it takes about the size of that otter. It's actually an otter submersible cabin. It takes about 2,400 units of nitrogen to fill back up, which is quite a lot. So because it ran out of energy and the habitat turned off, we're going to have to refill that. But they're okay for the time being, so it's not too bad. Okay, so let's have a look at what we've got here. Because we want to be looking at sending an actual proper science bay. We have the science bay, but we don't really have the ability to get something that large up into orbit. I'm going to get probably either get larger rockets, or I can get the ability to send multiple stacks, like the quadcouplers and things like that. So I think we'll end up grabbing those, and we'll try making a larger rocket, because we do have the science bay. It's ready to go somewhere. Yeah, I think that's it there. So we do have it, we just don't have the ability to send something that large into space. So we're going to quickly snap together a rocket and see if we can't get this up there. So this will probably be the Titania 03 craft. And everything good starts with a probe call. That's what we need. So we need one of these, one of those. Actually, don't we need the docking port? Go on there. So we're still working with these funky docking ports from I think it's Pico. For the most part, now that we've slightly tweaked some of the settings on them, and they mostly work okay. Okay, or just a bit found it a bit too difficult to dock with the existing set. Like you had to be really very accurate with where you put the how you lined up and what orientation you had, and it's just probably a bit too difficult for me. That should be okay. That'll be better. Throw some batteries on there. And pretty much now we can split it and do how big our fairings are going to be. We should be able to cover it. That is easily twice the size, twice the mass of anything I've put into orbit so far. So yeah, it's going to be a struggle. go. That will be pretty much basic design. Put docking ports, and that'll give us no forward back translation, so it'll have to be here. Like then though. Just compared to these ones. These ones here? These ones here. Compared to these ones here, they just don't look it's good, so we'll use those. They also stick out a lot less too, which is kinda handy. Okay, so we've got the basic design of that. Now, fuel tank. Which delta V does that give us, and what's thrust weight? So that's 1000 delta V. I mean, that's probably good enough for just straight orbital work. Sorry, it's really early in the morning here and I'm just trying to sip my coffee. So that's probably good enough for straight orbital work. But we'd need to... So, because this is going to be difficult docking, we're going to throw these bits on here just to cover us during the flight. And where are these? Engine. Wondering if we can get away with, what's that? 90 vacuum, that's terrible vacuum. Not too bad in vacuum. How's the ISP? 300. What'll that do for us? So that might be... That means we need to get 3000 on this lower stage. Do I have fuel tanks yet? Fuel ones I don't. What if I put an extra tank on here? Can we fairly tall this rocket? And another... Okay. I think now if we split it out into a quad coupler, and I do have some struts. I do have struts, okay. Okay, so it's like I've got super struts. Okay. And we'll probably put the scores on there. Yeah, that should be close to enough. That's got gimbal. That's actually quite interesting, 4000, so that'll give us... it's going to be fairly weak on takeoff. So what we might do is throw okay, great. So that'll give us an extra 400 delta V. So that will give us so what's the difference between these? Strength, shear strength, strength, shear strength. Have a look at what these look like. And the other thing I'm going to need to do is take that off and pop a fairing bit. Yeah, that should be okay. Okay, so we've got, it's fine, it's fine, that's fine. Docking ports. I'm probably once I actually get this side span to orbit, I have a feeling I'm going to need more power, more electric. We'll cross that bridge once we get it to orbit. Let's put some struts there as well. Titanium 03. Don't need any action groups. Don't want any crew in there. Light the 4 engines, then we're going to light the SRBs. So jettison those, jettison that, start that engine. Yep. And probably this will be jettisoned around here somewhere. And it will be 4 sides clamshell. Okay, well let's time warp and launch and see what happens. So our last launch was day 262. Let's go forward to about 269. Have the Titania 3 for the crew. Let's launch it. Okay, so let's have a look at where the station is at the moment. So we'll time warp until our phase angle is about 311. How's that thrust to weight ratio on this? Not sure. Throttle down, engine on, throttle up, and SRVs. Let's just pull it back straight away. It's not too bad. We're going to get fairly good thrust to weight on this. We do need to burn some of the liquid fuel to get the thrust to weight ratio above, but we should be pretty okay with this. Five seconds SRB. 3, 2, throttle up. Separate. Okay, so you can see our thrust to weight ratio is 1.4, so not too bad. And it is accelerating, like it is, the thrust to weight ratio is going up at a reasonable pace. This will start to do our turn. Just be very, very gentle with this. Because of the amount of mass on top, it's going to be very unstable, as in it will want to tip very easily. I do have a fair amount of gimbal on those 4 swivel engines at the bottom, so they will give me a good amount of control. So I'm just throttling down bit by bit to try to keep the thrust to weight ratio down. Let's turn the lights on. Not too bad. Now we are going to leave a mess in orbit of this stage here. It has the Vesta, the Maverick, KW Rocketry Maverick attached, but so be it. Okay, a couple seconds until this first stage runs out of fuel. Throttle down, separate, ignite the engine, and throttle up. Okay, so it's not too bad. We're getting 2.5 thrust to weight. Pulling just over 2 Gs. It's our apoapsis climbs, and as normal we'll get it up to about 105 kilometers, at which point we'll organise the rendezvous. Oh, interesting. The KW Rocketry has some, is it residuals, as in it you cut the engine out, it doesn't stop straight away. Interesting. So just do our normal rendezvous burn. Same we've done for all of the crafts so far. That will put us about there, 200 meters away. Yeah, I think I can handle that. Let's see, I did put a reaction wheel on here. Let's see just how effective it is. It's not too bad. Let's get rid of that. Now it's a 280 millisecond burn. What's the speed I'm going to be going at that rendezvous? 59 meters per second. Okay, so I've got enough delta V in this upper stage to do it, so I'm going to get rid of that first stage. Rather than have it let's turn all that off. Rather than have that upper stage remaining in orbit with this, because if I do, because I've got enough delta V in that stage to actually do the, not do the whole rendezvous, but get us to a rendezvous, not to do the docking. If I was to leave that up there, it is going to be in really close orbit with the station itself, and it's just not worth it. Okay, so let's burn and go to rendezvous. Very quiet, this engine, the Terrier engine. Six, 5, 3, 2. Just throttle down a little bit. Just keeping an eye on that separation distance. 300 meters. Wonderful. I am not even going to try to adjust that. We're just going to time warp to here. And hope we don't run out of electric. No, don't. That's great. So we can survive one orbit. Mind you, the pressure control and scrubbers all turned off. Okay, so that'll be the station there. Let's organize target retrograde. Is time warp. And as usual, docking in the dark, because that's epic. Let's slow down and try to bring us into closer. There we go. 10 meters per second, 500 meters away, and our intersect distance is 0. So that's pretty good. Now let's see if we can't dock this thing. I'm probably going to want to go on the top of the craft. Control from here, docking port. So we'll just slow right down. That's probably going to bring us a bit too close. However, I can set that as the target now. So let's, using RCS to go up and slow down a bit. We are traveling pretty quick. Turn off RCS and turn around. Okay, so that's pretty good. The reaction wheel is making it a lot easier to do this. There we go. That's what we want. I probably should have put one more set of RCS up here. That's interesting. Okay. We are going to be a little bit off balance, but we can deal with that. And on fine control now. Docked. Perfect. That just worked. That's as good as I'd wanted. Yeah, that actually went quite well. So what I think we'll do now is we don't have any nitrogen in here, so let's grab those two containers. Let's put it all in here. Let's keep those two open. Just going to transfer as much of the monopropellant out as possible, because we just don't need it in that stage that we just sent with us. Yep, it's full. There was none on that side. Okay, is there any monopropellant that goes in there? No. None that goes in there. Ah, interesting. Plenty of nitrogen. That's good. Okay, so we've got pressure control. Stopped. Okay, fine. Let's grab... Oh, don't need that anymore. That one and that one. I transfer fuel. Yep. Transfer some of that fuel out of here, because I think there'd be enough fuel and delta V in there to return that craft. Or would there? Am I going to... that's interesting. I guess thinking about that the other way, I might ditch this craft because I'll end up docking something else up here to do the crew replacement. There's plenty of fuel. We might need to send up some kind of tanker. There's just a little bit of fuel in there, so yeah, I might just might get everything out of there as much as possible and send that back to Kerbin. I think there's one more. Yeah, that'll be fun. So I'll grab as much monopropellant out of there as possible. Okay, so that's all the monopropellant tanks on everything full, I think. Yeah. Oh, last one. get rid of that, and let's decouple this. Switch to that vessel. Orbit retrograde. Clear the station. Yeah, it's got plenty of delta V. That's pretty much it. So we'll time warp until this comes back and pretty much destroys itself. So that's pretty much how it should be. It's just a nice quick launch, simple docking, and yeah, that's how it should be. We can burn just a little bit. You can see the delta V's dropped significantly now that we're in orbit. This engine just has terrible ISP. I suppose MechJeb can do a... Okay, interesting. Oh, it was still set to orbital, and it ran out of fuel within seconds, so that's fine. Let's have a quick look. That was quite a successful flight. Everything went according to plan. It's a safe docking. And gives me great confidence that we're going to be able to resupply that mission fairly quickly in future if necessary. If something arises that was unforeseen and we needed to get supplies to it, we can pretty much do that in a hurry. So that's good. So we might leave that here for the time being, and we will look at setting up probably a power truss or something to provide more power to the station. But that will be the next episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you again next time. Bye for now.